Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to another YouTube forecast, and this is going to be sort of a midweek sort of update that I would like to provide for you guys because gold has actually sort of switched direction midweek. So the forecast that I initially said, I'm actually going to change from that today. So with last week, the main direction was bearish. We were looking for price to sort of push up and give a sort of rejection from this area around about here. But price did push a lot higher than that, and you can see that price it did end up falling, but once it got to this level, this was the key level that I was watching. I wanted to see price break below this low to see that liquidity was taken, but it was the actual bodies which actually gave the direction, and once we ended up getting a break above this level, this would have been an area to buy, sending price higher. Again, in hindsight, it's very hard to sort of apply this stuff in live markets. For us, what we were looking at the time, we were following a bearish approach because, as you can see, that once prices push lower, we're getting a retracement higher. Got another push lower, got another retracement back up again. Price fell to breach the prior high, and then with price pushing back lower, we failed to see a new low. Right, in this, looking at the candles as well on the hour time frame, price also failed to break the prior low, hence why we had the line below showing that we wanted to, saying that there was relatively equal lows and we were targeting a double bottom. Now the reason why this didn't work out and price moved up, and it's something that I'm going to start adding into my trading now because it doesn't happen often. Gold is a pair which a lot of the time likes to collect liquidity. It likes to breach previous lows and then start pushing up. Here was an example. As you can see here, we have a low. You have a low on the right of it, but what did it do? It pushed a little lower and then it started to push up, and obviously went back even lower, obviously following the trend. So it's a pair that more often than not, it doesn't like to create equal lows. Let me see if I can find another example. I think this was an example here where you had a low here, right there, and then this low broke below it, and then once it breached the prior low, liquidity was taken, and then what did price do? Broke structure, retested, and then with this green candle obviously pushed up, and then price continued going up. But where did it go? Did it stop at a prior high? If I put a line across this, why is this wick higher than that one? Because it went to collect the liquidity above that wick, and then that's when it decided that, okay, I'm done obviously collecting the liquidity from that, I'm now going to start pushing down. So then you can see that price ended up pushing down, broke structure, retested, and then we ended up getting an absolute collapse on gold there. So that sort of price action that you want to sort of watch on gold, because it likes to collect liquidity very often. Now we were taking this approach this week because we didn't see the price collect liquidity. It's now currently on a retracement. Now on this, around this area here, you would want to see some sort of reversal sell setup or some sort of things like that, right? But it didn't work out because the liquidity here was actually already collected with the bodies. This is a rejection block, and this is something that I'm going to try and talk about in a sort of shorter form because it's something that doesn't happen, but it's good to know that price can actually reject from the wicks. It doesn't have to break below, but because the body's actually closed below the bodies on these candles here, if I draw a line going across, this is something that you can find in ICT Mentorship 2022. You guys can go search if you want a more in-depth version, but you can see the bodies lined up at around about 23.19, but these bodies closed below at 23.17. And then what happened to the next candle? Pushed up, and then you ended up getting a break of structure where price started to push higher. The main confirmation for the buy was this area here. Why? Because you can see that once the price ended up pushing lower, we wanted to see price break a swing high to indicate that there's some bullish strength. And what happened is that overnight price went straight to break the prior high, and then you ended up getting a retracement back into this order block. And then what happened at London, you ended up getting a big buy move up, and you could have held the buy towards the previous daily high and this wick that you ended up getting here, and that's where price is consolidating. So that's sort of what I was thinking, and why we didn't sort of get into the buy. Obviously, the VIP members will be thinking of what's going on, so this is an update for them and for you guys if you guys were looking for selling, and reason why it didn't end up working. Now, this is a sort of little update. What I'm thinking going into tomorrow and what's going to happen at NFP. Right, let me just remove all these boxes, catch my breath, and then we can continue again. Because for some reason while I was speaking, I was holding my breath. It's weird. Anyway, right, so now that we've established that the liquidity has been collected here, one thing I also wanted to mention is if you look at the line chart, look what happened here. Can you see how this low was breached by this low here, and then looked up? Now this looks like a liquidity sweep. You can see clearly that price went lower than this and then started to push up. I don't use the line more often. I don't use the line sort of chart as often as I do with candles, but I think it's something to use when you can't really see it as clear. So I am going to look at that more often. But as you say, for me, I completely missed it because I don't see it as often. It's something that happens. But we're all learning, we're all growing. This is something that we now know, and we'll always be aware of it. So yeah. Anyway, going into next week, you see that the highs above 23.54 have now been taken. This is a very strong bullish sign that price would like to go higher, and where exactly to target 23.64, which will be the highest point of this sort of consolidation that we have. I think price will want to target that. I'm not sure if we get a pullback for a continuation or price wants to take that out first. If we look at the daily time frame and reset the candles, you can see that with this daily candle, it's sort of targeting where above these swing highs, and then we have a daily fair value gap in here as well. So this is where I'm expecting price to sort of get into, with the liquidity already being collected from here, and you can see bullish price action. You'd want to see going to either tomorrow or with NFP, you want to see a retracement back into a discount area, preferably around about this area here, around about 23.40, anywhere below that, and then this will give you an optimum buy position to take price higher into this fair value gap. Now, if price doesn't do that, which by the looks of it could be something that may hold overnight and price may continue higher, but it could just collapse and then give us a retracement tomorrow. But going into, you could get consolidation tomorrow. So tomorrow is the day that I will end up not trading. I will see what price wants to do, because it could be consolidation for NFP, could be manipulation, could be some weird sort of price action that we're getting. So I'll ignore that and then come back for NFP, which is at the 7th of June at 8:30 New York time. So what price could do is it could take out these highs here, and then from here what you'd like to see is a reversal pattern for NFP to retrace this whole move for price to push back down. Now this could be a sort of retracement that you could end up getting either with a sell, or you can end up waiting for a retracement back here, and then this would be your continuation to buy. Why? Because this is sort of a breakout that we're getting at the moment. Liquidity has been collected here, unless you end up seeing price break below these sort of lows here. If you get a clear swing low break, like 23.30, and price wants to sort of push below this green line at 23.30 here, then you would want to sort of switch your bias to see, okay, we can now target these sort of equal lows. Even though the liquidity has been taken off the rejection block, there's still liquidity sitting below 23.15, if you get what I mean. We just need to get that sort of clue from the market. So it's always best to clear out your charts. If you end up getting a confusing week, like I mentioned on Telegram, that, okay, price action is a bit choppy here, I can't see it, what do? I then reset everything, cleared everything out, and then I ended up seeing that, oh, we actually did have a rejection block and liquidity actually was taken. I checked the line chart and I saw, oh, that's why it's going up. Now it makes sense. So it's always best to sort of clear your mind and reset and come back, because the consistency is there. We know how to sort of catch these moves on a consistent basis with gold, but sometimes you end up making a bit of mistakes with our analysis, or we end up getting a few things wrong, but we always bounce back at the end of the day. So that's pretty much it. So what I'm expecting is a retracement back into this area for price to continue higher. This is the main target at the moment, 23.64. I wouldn't be selling at the moment. The only thing that you want to target is that area and keep buying into that 23.64 to breach that high and possibly into this daily fair value gap. Once price gets into there, this is a conversation for another day. There should probably need a whole new analysis based on once price gets in there, what's it going to do? Because you want to see, does price action sort of leave this sort of structure on the way up? If it does and breaks sort of price structure and then wants to go down, this looks like price wants to turn around, right? Depends on the price action leading up to this move. If you have loads of sort of sell side liquidity on the way up, then you get a big break after collecting liquidity above 23.64. This can lead you on to the next setups. This is how I sort of wait for my setups because the market usually forms them for me. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so the main move is obviously retracement to continue higher. And let's see if there's anything else to mention in this midweek forecast. Yeah, so I think it's just to wait till tomorrow, see what price action you get, and then come back on Friday and then reanalyze, see what sort of liquidity sort of left for the news. If it's just this high, then you're likely to get NFP whacking straight up into here and then potentially producing some sort of retracement sell setup that you can get towards the end of the day where price could push down. Or if price is already up here and then you get Thursday climbing into this area, you could see NFP produce a sell retracement towards the end of the week. But that's pretty much it on that sort of midweek forecast. Hope you enjoyed. Do leave a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. It's been a Waste FX. Peace out.